So as promised, we're going to look at the rest of the presidential candidates today. We're just going to knock them all out. Then we'll be done with candidates. We can move on to issues and speeches and all that jazz. So our first one up is John Kasich. Who the hell is that? Next we have Dr. Ben Carson, a world-famous neurologist, probably the third most famous neurologist in the world after Sanjay Gupta, and then one guy from Survivor. What are his chances? I don't see him winning at all. It's not brain surgery. George Pataki, the governor of New York. Does anyone remember this guy? I don't. Next, Bobby Jindal, the governor of Louisiana. Does anyone I wouldn't get too excited about his chances, or really just excited about him at all. He does have, I think, like Marco Rubio, he could get that progressive guilt trip vote where, like I said before, people will go into the election and they look at it and like, I don't want to vote for Hillary Clinton, but she's a woman, and she's the only woman on the ballot here, and I don't vote for her, I'll be seen as a sexist. Oh, wait a minute, an Indian American, I could vote for him, that'd still be progressive, and then I wouldn't have to vote for Hillary Clinton. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Progress. Rick Perry, of Texas. Yeah, I'm sure he'll do well if there aren't any accidents. I mean, incidences along the way, you know, and if he can learn to eat his food sideways. Lindsey Graham, what are you doing, you silly goose? Running for the presidency. Oh, stop it. Rick Santorum, former senator from Pennsylvania. I think his chances aren't that bad. Last time he got second for the Republican nomination, right behind Mitt Romney. That being said, he's basically just a second-rate Mitt Romney. Donald Trump, billionaire, owns a lot of casinos and condos, has a few Trump Towers here and there, star of The Apprentice and Apprentice Celebrity Edition. He's not doing too bad in the polls. I hear that he's like in second place for the Republican nomination. But people have always seemed to have this intolerance of billionaires running for public office, like Steve Forbes and that Google chick in California. They're seen as someone who can just not only afford their own campaign, but basically just buy votes. So as long as Donald doesn't rub it into people's faces that he's a billionaire and just hammer that in, then I see him doing pretty good. Chris Christie, the governor of New Jersey. I think he'll do I don't really know what his chances are with the Republican Party. I know that the media on the left for a long while was sort of touting him as like a front runner for the nomination. They seemed to like him. I think it was all a setup by the left-wing media. So he would get the nomination, he'd go up against Hillary Clinton. And why would they do this? Well, you kind of look at Chris Christie. He's this sort of big guy who doesn't hide how he really feels. And he's been known to just kind of snap at people. And you put him up in the debates against Hillary Clinton, the woman, well, not woman, but the woman, and he'll get angry at some point. And then all Hillary Clinton really has to do is just cry. That emotion would be like, it's so difficult how the people make it personal, and then people will vote for her and not Chris Christie. So Chris Christie, if you want to win, you need to be nice. Mike Huckabee, former governor of Arkansas. I would say I think he's the most likely to get the nomination at this point. I might be wrong. When I start talking about issues, one of the first ones I'm going to be talking about is the recent decision by the Supreme Court that legalized marriage for same-sex couples. Some of the Republicans were adamantly opposed to this, and none more than, I think, Mike Huckabee. And I think he's made it clear that he's going to push forward with this sort of, we need to change that. You elect me. We're gonna have a new constitutional amendment that only marriage is owed between a man and a woman. He's going to run with that, and that might appeal to a lot of extremely conservative Republicans. At the same time, this might be something that would cost them the nomination. Some people look at it as more pragmatic and think they would lose that fight. So, he's one to watch.